For the years that I've been practicing family law, I've seen a lot of things that really are signs of when a divorce is kind of imminent. And one of those things is infidelity. I mean, it just tears apart the trust in a family. And it is so important, I think, if you are on the receiving end of learning of an infidelity in your relationship, that you do seek out a marriage counselor, a therapist, something to ensure that you are doing everything possible to potentially save your marriage if that's what you want. But I think it is very important because it is a real traumatic event when you are on the receiving end of learning about this. And it can absolutely impact your entire divorce if we cannot get over that initial emotional trauma, because no matter what, at least in Washington, we're a no-fault state. This co-parent is going to be your co-parent, likely with residential time. You're going to be dealing with finances. We need to get over that so that you can then start making decisions that are strategic and forward-focused, rather than from a place of just true trauma and despair. Another kind of clue to divorce, I find, is when you have a partner who might have some either undiagnosed or untreated mental health issues. And it can be simple things. I mean, it can be ADHD type things, anxiety, depression. It doesn't have to be like big, DSM-5 personality disorders. It can be small things, but maybe they're not getting the treatment they need. And oftentimes people treat undiagnosed mental health issues with substances. So sometimes you'll find somebody who will call us and they'll say, oh, my spouse has a substance abuse issue. Well, and it turns out, yeah, they might have a substance abuse issue, and it is likely masking the underlying mental health issue that is not being addressed. And so actually understanding that and trying to come to the divorce process with compassion and empathy, because the more we can do to get that undiagnosed mental health issue resolved, the better that person is going to be able to step up as a co-parent and for the rest of forever. And that is really going to benefit your children. Another area that I find is very common in many divorce situations is, what I would call either financial abuse or even financial infidelity, where somebody will call and they will tell me, both parties have been working for 20 years and they thought, they're saving in their 401k and certain things. And then all of a sudden, they get a call from the IRS and it turns out they haven't filed their taxes in 3 years, or the money they thought was going into the 401k was not actually going into the 401k. Maybe it was going into some speculative investment and it's all gone. Maybe it wasn't going into that at all. Maybe it was actually going in to support a second family that you didn't know existed. And so, but those financial kind of bombshells can be truly devastating. And so again, I recommend that if you are on the receiving end of one of those financial situations where you have been blindsided financially, reaching out to a CDFA, a certified divorce financial analyst, is going to be so beneficial to help you get your footing, find solid ground again so that you can move forward and put your financial house in order. Probably one of the biggest issues I see in people calling about divorce has to do with how do you raise your children. And there's some signs, simple things like one parent wants to vaccinate, the other parent doesn't ever want a vaccination. One parent believes in, getting expert advice, maybe bringing a child to a therapist. The other parent's like, no way you're not bringing my kid to a therapist. They need to buck up and get over it. And so it really just depends. And I look at it as, are you the participation trophy parent, or are you the parent that literally wants to see your kid coming off the field bloody? And these parents do not agree. And so they are constantly in conflict over how to raise their children. Having these conversations early and often is a really helpful thing. And if you find yourself in that situation and maybe the rest of your life y'all do get along and things are okay, but you just don't get along with this, maybe think about using a co-parent coach. You can get some help where maybe you can find some middle ground on that and actually help yourself not end up in divorce court. There are many signs of things that lead to divorce. If you are seeing some of these and you are living them and experiencing them, reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk to you, happy to share resources with you. You don't have to just deal with this alone.